Hi, I'm Jenna, also known as RetroLemon, and this is episode 140. Our sweater knit along, we have like little over 2 weeks to go. The 31st is on a Friday, today's Wednesday, so that puts us at what, 16 days? 16 days as from when I'm recording this, to get them done. So, super excited. There's a few FOs pictured. Very excited. We do have prizes if I can see. Oh, I set them over here. So we have a skein of Wool Miza 100% Superwash Merino in the Bussy colorway. And a skein of Daisy Knits Vine Base and the Tango colorway. Beautiful. Lovely prizes that were donated. And then I have to mention, because I don't know, it kind of drives me nuts. So I knit my striped sweater, right? Y'all saw that a few weeks back. And I've worn it twice. So I wore it once. And it kind of got pilly, like, along the arms and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, sometimes things do a first pill. So I got out my gleaner, my little fuzz shaver thing. It's not electronic, you just kind of do short strokes. It works amazing. My sweater looked like new again. I wore it again Saturday. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. It's heartbreaking. Can you see? Oh, I can see it on my screen, so hopefully you can see it. But all through here is like a big lub of like pilliness. And it's all down the side. But yeah, definitely the worst is right through there. So disappointed with this yarn. And you know, I don't want to talk bad about a yarn company. It is Spud and Chloe Sweater. But I guess I'm thinking it has sweater in the name. So it would be good sweater yarn. I mean, anywhere else where there wasn't any kind of friction, the back still looks good. All around the yoke where the colors are, it looks great. But it pilled something horrible. And like I said, I tried to give it, you know, okay, clean it up once, but in no time at all, once I put it back on, and I wasn't hard on it. I went and, you know, helped out at the knit shop for the day. So I'm mainly sitting there knitting, getting up, helping customers when needed and whatever, and it is just, it's heartbreaking because I loved knitting with this yarn. It was so soft. It is, I think, if I can get the ratio right, I think it's like 65% organic cotton, 35% wool, or 55% organic cotton, 45% wool, something like that. It's a wool organic cotton blend. The colors are beautiful. I could not have been happier with how this sweater turned out, except for the fact that the yarn is just not holding up, in my opinion. So, you know, I think it would be great toy yarn. It'll be great, maybe hat yarn. I don't know that I'd use it for mittens. I personally won't use it for sweaters again. Here's the front. Can you see that? All through here. It's just heartbreaking because I was so happy with it. And like I said, it was such nice yarn to knit with. I just don't think I'll use it for sweaters again. Or anything that I know is going to get a lot of friction or wear on it, because it's pilling like the dickens. So sad. So, I have a finished object, but an update, because I showed you this last week, because it is done. But I finally put buttons on my husband's sweater. I have woven in all the ends, it just needs blocked. Because I went and I found buttons that he liked yesterday. We ran into a Hobby Lobby and he was like, oh yes, I like those buttons. Maybe not quite like that. He was like, yeah, those are cool. Something like that. So it has buttons, he tried it on, it is such a perfect fit. So like I said, I'm just going to go, I throw my sweaters in the washer. My washer has a wool cycle, which is equivalent to like a delicate cycle. So the water comes in. I don't have a beater thing. It's just a, you know, empty drum. So I just put them in, wool cycle, a little bit of soak, cold water, let it do its thing, take it out, and I'll just lay it flat. I'm not going to like block it because it is a perfect fit. The only thing I'm going to really block is the placket where the buttons are because it is a rib, so it kind of sucks in a little. But awesome, it's officially done because it has buttons. I mean, I always consider anything that doesn't have buttons done because sometimes you just have to wait on the perfect buttons. But really, it's not done if you can't wear it without the buttons. So then my actual finished object for this week is a Francis the sock wearing fox. I knit this up for Leading Men Fiber Arts. The lighting isn't the best in here. It's been raining all day, so it's very overcast. So when I saw Steve and Andy at Zombie Knitpocalypse in June, they gave me this yarn and asked if I could knit them a fox, and I was like, yes, of course, because I'd be like, whatever you guys want, I will be happy to make it. But life did get a little hectic and busy, and so many other, what do you call it, obligation knitting came up, and kind of got pushed back, but they're going to be at Vogue Live in Chicago here in a couple weeks, so I wanted to hurry up and whip this up and get it out in the mail, because Steve said it's going to be their mascot at Vogue Knitting Live, so if you're going to Vogue Knitting Live, you'll get to see this Francis. So I used Fox Says What is the main body color, which, okay, it reminds me of bacon. I don't know what it is about this yarn. Like, I see fox too, don't get me wrong. But especially when it's all in a ball or in a hank, it reminds me of bacon. I love bacon. But it reminds me of a fox too. But I see it and I think, bacon. Steve didn't have any semi-solids or somewhat semi-solids for the muzzle and like the tip of the tail, and then the paws. The feet are the same, and the tips of the ears. So he told me just to use my judgment, and the only yarn I have that I thought would look best is some Cascade 220 Superwash, because since the box office base, which is the base it is on, is a superwash, I really wanted to use a superwash with it, because if I used just a regular 100% wool, non-superwash wool, it would have been much more scratchy than the superwash. So I just went ahead, and it's the Erin colorway, which is a natural undyed, and the chocolate colorway, which is a very, very dark brown. And then I did have some box office base in the Perfection colorway that they had sent me for the breakaway cowl I had knit. So I used that for the little socks, and I like the little teal socks on the fox. So this is actually, as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to run this to the post office so it can be on its way, her way, his way, its way, to the Leading Men. Lots of works in progress this week. I was all like, oh yes, I'm going to get things off the needles. Psh. Yeah, right. I really didn't have as much knitting time as I normally do, but I'm going to talk about that in a slice of life. So I did pick up my Emerald sweater. It's like a Henley. It's a Henley, a short sleeve Henley. It does have long sleeve instructions, but there's no way I'm going to have enough yardage for long sleeves, and I only bought yardage for short sleeves, so that's not an error on the yardage requirements of the yarn. I bought enough for a short sleeve. So it's by Heidi Kermeyer, I believe. I don't think it's Isabel Kramer. No, I think it's Heidi Kermeyer. Anyways, it's called Emerald, and I did not pick green because of the name. It's just what I happen to like. And I got, throw it over my shoulder here, I got the hem done. So it's worked to where it kind of slopes in the front, and it's rolling on me. So it kind of slopes. You probably can't really see it all that well. but it kind of slopes down in the front. So that's pretty much what I did. I had to knit a few inches in just plain stockinette to get me to the point where I could do the hem. And it's not real major of a slope. Like I said, it's kind of rolling on me. They'll definitely need to be blocked out. So it's just worked short rows. It was no big deal, kind of boring. Potato chip knitting. I finished it up as we were finishing up third season of Grimm on Amazon Prime, because Netflix for some reason does not have Grimm. It just keeps flipping up. Let's see. See, it's kind of subtle how it just flips up. But anyways, the yarn is Fiber Spates Vivacious Decay in the Deep Forest colorway, and it's hard to see on the front because the front's rolling in because I haven't put the button band yet, but it has kind of like this smocking look to it, which I love. And I tried it on and it fits perfect. So very happy with it. Love the yarn so much. I'm so glad we're going to be getting more of this into the knit shop, because I absolutely love this yarn. As long as it doesn't pill on me, we're good. I better get it done before we reorder so I can test it out for sure. But love it, love the color so much. So now all I have left on that is the button band, the collar, and the sleeves. And I have to find buttons for it, but I think I have buttons that I know are going to work. Next up, I cast on a sockhead hat. I'm like maybe ½ inch, if that, into it. So it is just going to be like my car knitting or my sit and wait knitting, which I needed and didn't have with me this week. I am knitting it out of Online Super Sock from the Neptune colorways. It is color number 174. It's made in Turkey, but I think it's in German, all the writing on it. So that's all I know. 174, and it's really pretty. It's shades of blues and greens. Very beautiful. Oh, it got a little sloppy there, I guess, when I was winding it. That's what happens when you get distracted and you're winding and you stop, and then it never winds back up right the same way once you stop and start. So it is a sockhead hat by Hobo Knits, or Boho Knits, not Hobo, Boho, who is Kelly McClure. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. So I'm knitting one as a shop sample because I keep recommending it to people who are like, my daughter wants a slouchy hat, my son wants a slouchy hat. I'm like, free pattern on Ravelry, I've knit it, it's great. So, yeah, shop sample, yay, in my Girl Cave Bags TARDIS Starry Night bag. I'm like, yay. It got buried under like some yarn or something. For a while it was kind of missing, so I was so happy to find it. And then the last thing I have cast on this week, that's on the needles, it's the Twig Cowl by Tiny Owl Knits. And it doesn't look like much right now, so this is the outside of it. It's cable-y. So it's just the same cable repeat down the whole thing. I knit this out of Plymouth Deer in the Portland colorway. It's a super chunky, that's what I was thinking, super bulky, and you only need one skein. And I didn't have a whole lot left over, just a wee little bit, because I was starting to sweat it. I'm like, am I going to have enough? And it is in my favorite, like, it's kind of like a mossy, really dark chartreusey green. The lighting stinks today. no sunshine. So you knit this piece of the cable to the specified amount of inches. And let's see, I think I have the tag. Yeah. Okay, so then this is the Plymouth Thier. It's 100% fine merino wool, and it's 100 grams, approximately 109 yards. And then you also have to knit a lining for it. That looks, okay, it feels, I told my husband, I was like, it feels like baby kittens. He's like, do you hear what's wrong with that sentence? I'm like, it feels like baby kittens. He's like, that's a bit redundant. I'm like, no, like newborn baby kittens, like baby kittens. He's like, whatever. I don't care. I'll say it feels like baby kittens, all I want. So you knit, it's like really stretchy. You knit a panel that needs to be the same length as this. And this is, it's like a charcoaly gray. It's fluffy. I would normally not encourage anybody to knit with a fun fur type yarn, but it's so soft. It's not like the fun fur that you feel and it's like, ugh, it's, I mean, you want to pet it. Like I said, it's like petting a kitten. And it is, where's the tag for that? There it is. It is Caribou by Haiku, which is a ski cell yarn. And the tag looks like this. It has a little caribou on it, and actually it's in a ball. So when you see it, the little caribou actually, you're supposed to touch it, right? So this is color 38. Like I said, it's like a charcoaly gray. So it'll be really nice. So you go, you knit the two pieces separate, and then you just whip stitch this into this. And then when you have enough, and I cast on an extra 4 stitches, because looking at people's Ravelry notes, they said that the lining was never wide enough to fit into the cabled piece very well. So I cast on 4 extra stitches because you use a smaller needle for the lining than you do for the cables. Now, we have the shop owner at my LYS had knit a sample for the shop, and she just went and used, like, you use a size 13 for this and a 10.5 for the inside. She just used a size 13 for both. When I did that, my furry little lining was too meshy. I did not like the fabric it was making. So I thought, well, I'll cast on just a few more stitches to make up for it. So when you're all done, when you stitch the lining in, you will then, or no, wait, you sew this together first. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. You stitch this together first, you turn it inside out, stitch the lining to it. Anyway, so it'll be a cowl like this. It'll be really warm, it'll be furry on the inside, and I was kind of like, yeah, until I put the shop sample on, and I was like, oh, that's nice. So, because it gets cold here in Ohio, right? I mean, northern Ohio at that. I mean, all of Ohio gets cold, don't let me fool you. But it gets really, really cold, and I'm like, this is going to be so snugly warm. It's going to be so nice. So my daughter wants one too, and luckily I found a skein. I was going to get something else from the knit shop to make her one, but I found a skein of Knit Picks Big O. I don't know if they still make it or not, but it is a super bulky, and I think it's an acrylic wool blend, but it's in an aqua colorway, and she wants one out of that. Not out of, the shop didn't have like an aqua, but there was a variegated one. I was going to make one in a variegated, and I thought it would be super pretty, but she wants an aqua one, and I would have needed 2 skeins of the variegated, so hey, saves me money. Can't complain about that. Okay, that is all my works in progress. That's it. Let's see, I do have some Yarny goodness. So, my friend Kristen came into the shop, and I had watched last week's show and knew I had had a rough week last week. It was a bad week. And I don't like to complain on here. I really don't. But at the same time, it's hard to be like, yes, hello, when everything's like, so, you know, some days you just have a bad week. I mean, it happens. It happens to everybody. So she had mentioned, we were talking about the Van Gogh opal yarns, because we're going to be getting some new opal yarns into the shop. And I was like, oh, I never got the Night Cafe one. I was like, that's, you know, I wanted Starry Night. I got that. I got sunflowers and could never find a skein of the Night Cafe. So she's like, oh, I have one in my stash, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, you know, willing to take it off your hands. So she came in Saturday and brought me the Night Cafe and gifted it to me with a very sweet note because she knew I had a bad week. And I still offered to pay her for it. She's like, no, 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 it's a gift. So I really, really appreciate it. And it really, really made my day really awesome. And not just I mean, just the thoughtfulness, right? I'm meeting so many wonderful people at the knit shop. It just, knitters are so generous and they're so caring. And I'm super excited because she's like, what are you going to make with it? I'm like, oh, this will be socks. It'll be socks. So, yay! Thank you, Kristen. I just want to, like, pet it. I'm like, I've coveted this yarn for so long. And I've never seen it on D-Stash. I think I saw it on D-Stash once, and somebody wanted, like, an astronomical amount for it. Like, almost double what it sold for. And I'm like, I'm sorry. There's almost never anything I want that I'm willing to pay more than retail for. Ever. I'm too cheap. Then the other Yarny goodness I have is yarn support from my LYS for a new project I'm going to be starting. It is a design, and I'm super excited about it. And I had hoped to have it started by now. I mean, I just got the yarn Friday, but it's been a busy week. So I have 6 colors, and I'm actually going to need 5. But for my sample that I'm going to keep, I wanted a certain 5 color, and then the shop sample will be a different 5 colors. So my sample is going to be these 5. So a yellow, a pink, an orange, a green, and a blue. And then the one for the knit shop will be purple, green, pink, yellow, orange. So, because we had a button guy stop by the shop, and we picked up some buttons, because I think the shop owner got sick of me complaining that I can never find good buttons. Good buttons are very hard to find, unless if you are fortunate to live in an area where they have a button shop. Like when I was in Minnesota, they have Ginny's. Wonderful buttons. So we bought some buttons, and he had this big bag of mixed, see if I can hold up, colorful buttons. They're wood buttons. And I was like sitting at the table playing around with colors. And the shop owner and I were like, oh yes, we must. We must get some of these. So, oh, there rolls away my orange. I'll have to get it. So I was like, oh, I want to design something. And I want to design something with these 5 colors. So, kind of hard, they're hard to hold up. They're little butts. There's an orange, a yellow, a pink, a blue, and a green. So 5 buttons, many colors. It was pretty much all the colors of the buttons except there was a purple, a light pink, and like a reddish orange. So, but the problem was he only had 3 blue. 3. And he's like, well, I mean, I can send them to you. You'll have to pay shipping on them, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we're not like super cheap to where we would, if there was something we really wanted, we wouldn't pay the shipping. But I was like, why don't we switch out the green with purple, and instead of buying a whole bunch you know, ordering more blue or just getting purple. We'll get the 3 blue he had, and then the rest purple. Ah, I keep dropping these. Sorry. Anyways, so then I'm like, okay, well, I'll knit one with the blue and one with the purple. So all I can say is it's not a toy. It is going to be a wearable accessory. It is going to consist of 5 colors. Obviously, you don't have to pick the same colors I do. And it'll need 5 buttons. And they're probably about 1 inch. I don't know if they're quite 1.25 inches. And I'm going to try to see. It all depends on how the numbers work out. It's a math game. Every pattern is usually a math game. See if I can do a button and non-button option. But I can't make any promises. And it's going to be fun and easy and simple because that's what I do, people. Fun, easy, and simple. Although, you know, some people don't think lace is as easy as I do. But I was at Hobby Lobby because I was like, the wheels are turning. I think I set them right here. So I was thinking, okay, I got Cascade 220 from the shop to do samples out of. But I don't know if anyone remembers, a while back, I had gotten this pack from Wonderland Yarns. And I had gotten one of these in the fingering weight that I'm doing for my lefty. And I also got a worsted weight. We only ordered one worsted weight because I ordered it special. Because you were allowed to order by single packs. You didn't have to order like a lot of packs. You could order just one. So I ordered just one for me. And I thought, oh, I'll make a toy out of it. But there happens to be 5 colors. Green, blue, orange, red, and purple. And there's about 46 yards per skein. And I'm thinking this is going to work for my idea for a pattern. So it all depends on how much yardage I use out of those. I'll weigh those, and if I'm using, you know, 46 yards or less, I will use these and make a second sample as well. But then I went to Hobby Lobby looking for buttons for my husband's sweater, and I found these. I don't know if you'll be able to see them that well. So they're buttons, and they have all the colors that are in there. So there's a purple, a green, there's a yellow, a red, a blue, and an orange. So there's 6 buttons instead of 5. So the yellow will be a little rogue button I can save for something else. But these colors match up almost perfectly. So, if you're interested in these, I'll tell you again what they are. They're the Wonderland Yarns Pigments of Imagination. That's the packs. March Hare, which is the worsted weight. And then the colorway that this is called Idleness and Mischief. So, super cute. Love it. It's so soft and squishy. I was so thrilled I was able to find coordinating buttons. And for the pack of buttons, there's 6 pieces. It was $1.99. They're not wood buttons. I don't know. They just might be plastic. It doesn't say what material, but I think they're just plastic. I don't think they're ceramic. I haven't opened them yet, though. So they're plastic or ceramic. They have a little heft to them. They definitely weigh more than the wood buttons. Yeah, they definitely have some more heft. But couldn't have planned that better if I had wanted to. So that is it for the Yarny goodness and like plans that are coming. I'm hoping, I would love to have that out by the end of the month. I already have a test knitter lined up. I pretty much have everything ready. I just got to do the knitting. So I don't think it'll take long at all. Fingers crossed, because I'm excited about it, and I hope it works out the way I want it to work out. So that is it for the knitting. We're going to move on into a slice of life, so if you leave me now, I will see you next week. Oh, a slice of life. Life has been hectic. I mean, it just has been. This whole year has been hectic. I'm kind of glad it's like halfway through October, because hopefully that means the end of the year is coming and it'll be kind of a fresh start and we'll be more in the swing of things even more, because where my husband works now, they keep changing his schedule and it's frustrating. It can be kind of hard to make plans, And so it's changed yet again, as it has kept changing. It seems every few weeks. So that's going, and then over the weekend, he worked this weekend. He's like, something's up with my truck. And I'm like, something's always up with this truck. I mean, it's just old, right? It's like 14 years old. We've put a crap ton of miles on it. It's been a good little truck. Love this truck. But it's the transmission. Like, he's like, well, it's struggling to shift and it's not wanting to downshift. Crap. I know enough about cars to know that's bad. You really don't want transmission issues. And it needed new tires. The tires were pretty much bald. And, I mean, it's been issue after issue. We've put so much money into this clunker. But we love this truck, right? Like, it's a good little truck. So we had been looking online. I was like, well, we're going to have to look for you a work car. I was hoping to get through the holidays. No. So we found a car that he really liked online at a local dealership. And, because I'm so against actual, like, car shopping. Like, where you just pull in a lot and, like, be like, what do you got? No. I want to do my homework. I want to know what they have. I want to know what's in my price range. So he got home Monday, and the price of the car dropped, like, a lot. And, he's like, let's go look at it. So, needless to say, I was not prepared to go sit at a dealership for hours. 3 hours, at least. So I had no knitting. So I had all this knitting time, because you just wait, right? It's all the waiting game. Waiting for the financing to be approved and blah, blah, blah. So needless to say, we got a new to us car. It's old. I mean, don't let me get you wrong. Don't let me get you... Yeah. Either way, it's an older car. It's a work car. It's in good shape, though. Low mileage. It wasn't driven a whole lot. But the kick in the pants. It's a stick shift. Because he's all like, well, you can drive it. I'm going... I can drive it? Like, that's debatable. We really didn't want another payment, especially right now. I mean, things have felt tight as they are, and now we have to throw in another payment. I'm going, oh my god. Crap. So yeah, so I'm going to be purging stash once again. But it had to be done. I mean, his truck broke down on him once, and he missed a day of work because of it. And it was a whole ordeal getting it fixed, and, and he hasn't been at his job that long. 4 months, maybe? And, yeah, almost 5 months, 4.5 months. So, I mean, he can't be missing work, especially because of a vehicle, and winter's coming. Winter's coming, and that's the last thing he needs to do is to break down in the middle of winter with it snowing, and it's just dangerous. I mean, let's just face it. It's not safe any way around, so we kind of had to suck it up. The funny thing is, I married into a Ford family. I don't know that my family was overly particular. It's like, if it's in good shape and it runs and you like it, buy it. Although we never had foreign cars. I just live in an area where it's mainly American-made cars. I mean, it's Ohio, it's blue collar, not that far from Michigan where it's, very American car territory. We've bought another Volkswagen. It's not a Beetle. It's not a Beetle. It's a little sedan and whatever. But it's kind of funny because now we have more Volkswagens than we have Fords. We have 2 Volkswagens and 1 Ford. So it just kind of struck me as funny. But we got such a good deal on the car. And we had to do it. So, that happens in life. The truck was telling us, hey, it's time. Because honestly, when we drove the truck to the dealership, all I can think of is, oh my god, I really, really hope we find, that he likes this car, or we find something else, because I don't want to ride home in this truck. It was bad. I mean, it was not shifting well. I'm like, holy crap, let us just make it to the dealership. So, We were able to trade it in. We didn't get like squat for it, but it's no longer our problem. They're just going to scrap it, let's be honest. Which makes me sad, because it's a good little truck. I know I've said that, but it was. So that was kind of like my week. So it's been a little stressful. I kind of feel like, oh my god, what have we gotten ourselves into with another payment? Still haven't heard anything about that job yet, so I keep hoping they're going to call sometime this week. Next week at the latest. Because I'm like, if I'm not going to get it, I want to know to keep looking for something else. But I don't want to look for something else while I'm waiting and get an offer and be like, okay, you know, because you kind of have to, you can't be like, well, I'm waiting on this other job. Can you just hold the spot for me? Because they're going to be like, no. So, you know, I don't want to like tell somebody, yeah, I'll take this job, and then this job become available, and this is the job I want. And so, kind of waiting in limbo right now. But hopefully this will be good. The car will get better gas mileage. My husband won't be as stressed driving to and from work, worrying about being in an unreliable vehicle. And I get more experience driving a stick, because I gotta say, driving a newer car than my Beetle, it's like 30 years newer, it shifts so much easier, and I do such a better job, and I'm so much more comfortable with it. So that's the upside. Although I asked him, I was like, so if I wouldn't have learned to drive stick, would you still have bought a stick shift? And he says yes. I have a hard time believing that, but he says yes. So, and then the only other thing coming up or going on is my grandpa is coming for dinner this weekend. So I'm super excited. He hasn't been to our house in a while. He had been taking care of my grandma, who had been really ill and passed away this spring. So I'm so excited he's coming for dinner. So I'm like in like this nervous thing of trying to get the house cleaned and like little nooks and crannies, like places he's never gonna look, but it's like, I don't know, I want it to be nice, and I'm like worried about what I'm gonna make, and because he is a really good cook. I not so much. I wish I was. I wish I liked to cook. I love to eat. Not so much with the cooking. So hopefully that'll go well. I've been so busy with that. Today I've been trying to straighten up the house and just, you know, do normal things, laundry and whatever. And I was like, oh, I gotta record. And so I'm excited about that. I'm really looking forward to it, because we'll probably sit around and talk cars all evening, and it should be a lot of fun. So that's it for me. So I'm Jenna, also known as RetroLemon. I'm RetroLemon on Ravelry. Plurk, I don't Plurk anymore. I don't even go on there. So Ravelry, Twitter, I don't tweet either. Pinterest, Instagram, Fitbit, Weight Watchers. The website's RetroLemonStudio.com. And until next week, I will see you then. Bye.